Hello, I'm Elton Robinson with your May 12th grain and oilseed update. We'll start off with USDA's supply and demand estimate for 2017-18 marketing year released Wednesday. All wheat production is projected at 1.82 billion bushels, down nearly 500 million bushels from the prior year due to a sharp reduction in planted area and projected lower yields. Global wheat ending stocks are projected at a record 258.3 million tons. That's up 2.9 million tons from 2016-17. The U.S. corn crop is projected at 14.1 billion bushels, down from last year's record high, with a lower forecast area and yield. The yield projection is 170.7 bushels per acre. Total corn supplies are down from a year ago, but are still the second highest on record. Food, seed, and industrial use is projected to rise 80 million bushels to 7 billion bushels due to increased use of corn to produce ethanol for fuel. Corn used to produce ethanol is up 50 million bushels. U.S. corn exports are down 350 million bushels due to increases in corn exports for Brazil and Argentina during 2016-17. Corn ending stocks are down from last year's record high and, if realized, would be the lowest since 2013-14. The drop largely reflects forecast declines for China and the United States. U.S. rice production is forecast at 201 million hundredweight, down 23.1 million from the previous year, all on a reduction in long grain acreage. Rice use is projected at 235 million hundredweight, down 4% from last year, with both domestic and residual use and exports projected lower. World rice ending stocks are projected at 119.8 million tons, up marginally from the previous year. China continues to hold the majority of global rice stocks as its growing production and large imports continue to outpace consumption. The U.S. soybean crop is projected at 4.255 billion bushels, down 52 million from last year's record crop, with a forecast lower trend yield more than offsetting higher harvested area. U.S. soybean ending stocks are projected at 480 million bushels, up 45 million from last year. Global soybean production is projected down 3.4 million tons, mainly on declines for the United States, Brazil, and Paraguay. Production is projected higher for Canada, China, Bolivia, and Ukraine. The 2017 beef and pork export forecasts were raised as demand is expected to remain strong. Now let's take a look at USDA's weekly export summary. This is based on reports from exporters for the period April 28th through May the 4th. Wheat exports of 595,800 metric tons were down 4% from the previous week and 9% from the prior 4-week average. The destinations were primarily Indonesia, Nigeria, China, Egypt, and Algeria. Corn exports of 722,900 metric tons were down 41% from the previous week and 43% from the prior average. Primary destinations included Mexico, Japan, South Korea, Canada, and Jordan. Grain sorghum exports of 187,000 metric tons were up noticeably from the previous week and from the prior 4-week average. Destinations were China, Mexico, and Japan. Rice exports of 98,600 metric tons were up 41% from the previous week and 34% from the prior 4-week average. The destinations were primarily Turkey, Libya, Colombia, South Korea, and Mexico. Soybean exports of 346,000 metric tons were down 46% from the previous week and 45% from the prior 4-week average. The destinations were Pakistan, Japan, the Netherlands, Bangladesh, and Colombia. Soybean meal exports of 125,700 metric tons were down 46% from the previous week and 36% from the average. Destinations included Philippines, Mexico, Canada, Colombia, and Panama. Soybean oil exports of 18,000 metric tons were down 36% from the previous week and 34% from the prior 4-week average. Destinations Guatemala, Jamaica, Colombia, and Mexico. Beef exports of 12,800 metric tons were unchanged from the previous week but down 5% from the prior 4-week average. Destinations included South Korea, Mexico, Hong Kong, and Canada. Meanwhile, pork exports of 22,600 metric tons were down 10% from the previous week. Destinations were Mexico, Japan, South Korea, China, and Canada. Well, that's it for this week's report. I'm Elton Robinson. See you next time.